Hello and welcome back to Football Pundits podcast for our weekly updates and lively discussions about all things football. Before we move forward, I would like to remind you all to please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Also, do follow us on the social media handles which are mentioned on the top of the screens. So as we move towards a very exciting week and review the Christmas fixtures, we definitely have the disappointment on all our faces, where we have the Chelsea fans as well as the United fans who are not able to capitalize on the draws. So it's going to be the Reds and the Blues today in the house. So as we move to our first question, we would like to go to our in-house United fans and like to ask, how do you feel about the draw against Leicester, and do you feel that you have missed an opportunity against capitalizing the win which you could have? I think they had where you probably had better chances in the game.
Yeah, I think we definitely could have killed off the game on the hour mark. Um, we had the chances to kill off the game, and like not only kill off the game, we could have taken at least a 2-0 or a 3-0 lead before even the halftime. It's just, yeah, we couldn't capitalize on those chances, and as it always happens in football, like you miss your chances, and then the opposition just punishes you for the one chance that they make. So yeah, really good game, but could have gotten the 3 points, could have leaped into the second position this time. So disappointing, but yeah, like even like I don't know about like how do you guys feel about Leicester? Like they keep nicking off these games. Like I feel like this is pure luck, but they're not playing actually like a real champion kind of team. I feel like they keep on nicking off these penalties in games. They keep on nicking these own goals or like deflections, and they start there and they keep and they're still there. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like it's gonna. I think I said this a month ago as well, but I feel like this was gonna go off, but it doesn't look like it's going to go off. So
Yeah, like it was a great game. Like first and foremost, like it was an end-to-end game. Like both teams were pressing. The midfield battle was very amazing to watch because nobody was giving any time on the ball. Like Fred, McTominay, Ndidi, uh, they all were pressing at their very best level. So they were difficult to create chances, but the most clear-cut chances were United's. So yeah, I feel like we dropped 2 points. Like I'm not, I do not feel bad for the draw, but it was like we did not gain a point. We dropped 2 points on Leicester, and giving the title race that is currently happening and the type of congestion that is happening in the top six for the table, I think those two drop points might come back to haunt us somewhere down the road. But at the moment, yeah, it was a pretty good game. Like Foxes got lucky for the Vardy goal because like they got a deflection and it wasn't Tronzebi own goal. The ball was going outside from the Vardy shot, but still Foxes were responsible for creating their luck. Like the shot that Harvey Barnes took, he drove in the middle of the park and took a shot which David De Gea was not able to save, and it was a good goal. And Rashford could have had a hat trick in the game because there was a chance. There was a very beautiful pass that Bruno Fernandes made for Marcus Rashford that he could have and should have like buried. And a player of the quality of maybe quality or maybe experience of someone like Cavani would have definitely taken those chances. But because he had played 90 minutes in the midweek, you cannot like play him a week in every week because of its he might not have the legs to play for that. But yeah, you can see the clear progression that is currently happening for both United and Leicester. Leicester, like Rishabh said, I completely agree. They might like drop off as they did in the later stages of last season. But yeah, it was a very fun game to watch. Like nothing like the United City game.
So, as you mentioned, Cavani, what are your thoughts on him? I mean, in the midweek Carabao Cup match against Everton, he definitely had the impact and the differential goal, which actually landed you into the semi-finals, and now you're gonna have another derby on your hands. And I hope it's not going to be a coward performance, which was mentioned in our very first episode. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But what are your thoughts on Cavani exactly right now, in giving with the goal he provided in the previous match, and in the with the assist to Bruno Fernandes in this match? What are your thoughts on that?
I just want to say the recruitment from the last 2 years has been so much better than it has been for the past like 5 7 years. Like ever since David Moyes joined the club, the recruitment. I want to say the only players that Louis Van Gaal, David Moyes, or Jose Mourinho brought that were actually good for the club. One would be Ander Herrera, the second would be Ibrahimovic, and third, because he's putting a great shift right now, would be Fred. Like, and all the other players were a complete waste of money. Like Victor Lindelof is another one that I can add to that. But the recruitment from the last 2 years has been so much better. Like I cannot begin to explain how better it has been. Like we have added players who are actually helping the club to become better.
Yeah, Lukaku, Sanchez, then Di Maria,
Yeah,
then
Fellaini.
Daily Blind,
Please don't.
Fellaini, of course,
Don't
Fellaini,
forget
yes.
me.
Falcao.
Brilliant
We should not
recruitment.
forget Mkhitaryan as well.
Yeah,
Was the
Mkhitaryan,
I
yes,
like
yes,
Mkhitaryan. Like,
absolutely.
yeah, I like Mkhitaryan, and that was one of the worst decisions that Jose Mourinho took, because Manchester United was playing okay. They were playing good football at that time. Not good, but they were playing better. They were scoring a lot of goals. Rashford and Martial were having the seasons of their life, because both of them were coming for you started with Rashford and then brought on Martial, and they were scoring goals for fun. Then and Mkhitaryan was a big part of creating those chances. Then you brought on Alexis Sanchez. That flare on the left side completely killed itself, and Mkhitaryan was in Arsenal. So yeah, not good signings. But now they have like even the bench is a lot stronger than what it used to be just a season back. Like you can bring off Donny van de Beek from the bench, who I feel bad for because he needs to get game time. But seeing the kind of things that is happening with Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, I'm glad he's gradually getting into the Premier League.
You do realize that the bench is almost the same as last season, right? That's just barring a couple of players. It's almost the same. It's almost the same bench.
No, we can bring off like we have Pogba on the bench. We have
No,
Donny van de
I
Beek on the
completely
bench.
agree with
We
your
have
point.
Mason Greenwood on the bench. We have Edinson Cavani on the bench. Like we used to have Dan James on the bench. We used to have Odion Igalo on the bench.
Dan James is still on the bench.
So it's huh? Dan
is
James,
still on the
yeah, I agree, but still, like the kind of players that we can actually bring off the bench is a lot better than it was just a season back. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done a good job there, but yeah, and Fox, I don't know, like Leicester's recruitment is another thing, that the kind of players that they are the Borussia Dortmund of like Premier League, like the kind of players that they are able to find, you cannot even think. Like Fofana is one player. Even Cengiz Ünder is another great player, good player that they have signed for very like less amount of money. So the kind of player Leicester is able to bring, even if they sell those players off for a lot of
Madison,
money. Madison is another player, yeah.
I think
Jamie Vardy.
I'll just say one thing here before you praise Foxes. I think I was talking to Anshuman one day and he was mentioning some other member of some other podcast had mentioned there's a word that they call Brendan Rodgers. It's a scammer. He's a scammer. I'm going to stick with that. Like yeah, he's a scammer for sure. I don't want to bring any praises off of him. I really do not like him at all. Like I don't think he does anything good.
Why is
in the
that?
game.
Why is that?
I mean, look at him.
Like-
What has he done? He's done nothing to say that he's a very good manager. I don't think he's done anything. Like he could have.
But Leicester are playing a lot better football.
but then in that sense,
they're-
Pochettino is also not a good manager.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, I feel like Leicester is doing much better than Tottenham did under Pochettino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they are at those points level for a reason. That's because maybe they're winning it by penalties, but they are, and they still play some sort of. They do have a brand of football. Like they are playing better football than Tottenham are doing at the moment. So
Well, I think
easier on the eye.
You like a football where I understand. So now you like a football where everyone is just attacking and there is no sort of defensiveness to their team. Like just go and attack and score goals, and that's what you like. That's why you like Fred, because like literally if you play FIFA, you just have to push X. That's what he does. Like just press X and that's what he does. He is not a
Legacy
good footballer.
defending.
I looked at him yesterday. I saw
My
the game.
FIFA style is definitely legacy. Yeah, that's
Man,
true.
he is just
I still go
pressing
legacy.
the player. He is falling down. He's doing that. He doesn't have any sense of, okay, I have to control the game right now. It's the 90th minute or it's the 80th minute. I have to just control the game, see this game out, and we'll win the game. He is still pushing. He's just pushing his X and just running across the field. That's it. That's all he does.
See, that is the major difference between Fred and Paul Pogba. Because with Paul
doesn't run.
Pogba, even if you press X, he does not run. He does
He
not do
runs
anything.
towards the bench.
That is a new feature.
Yeah, he runs towards the bench. He runs towards the manager.
Exactly. So that's a new feature that PS5 introduced, right? So like
Tactical defending.
Exactly. No, not tactical defending.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about PS5, the controller in the PS5. It gives you that trigger, right? So right. So yeah. So like if you try to press it, you're like, no, I don't want to. So
It doesn't work.
Do not let.
We can have a FIFA 21 discussion on some other day, I guess. But let's come back to the Christmas week and the fixtures. So to all the people who don't know, yesterday I was having a very, very big conversation with one of the biggest Chelsea fans which I've ever met, and I found out that he actually does not bleed red; he actually bleeds blue. So he literally bleeds blue in his arm. So going to the Arsenal versus Chelsea fixture, I would like to bring in a guest speaker today. I mean, Shreyas, what were your thoughts? Do you still believe that Arsenal were lucky to win the game, or do you think actually Chelsea were lazy, to quote Lampard?
I think I said that in the discussion yesterday that you can see the lethargy in the Chelsea players.
Yeah,
I won't go as far as to say that Arsenal just got lucky and won the match. But yeah, the thing is that game could have gone either way, especially if you look at the first 30 minutes, where I think the first 5 minutes, Arsenal were the stronger side. And then, Chelsea kept going in and, then there was the free kick where Mason Mount clipped the post. It could have gone either way until then. And then the penalty happened again. We can discuss at length about whether it was a penalty or not.
We have already done that. Like we don't, we have been fed up with VAR, and it's like we just don't want to talk about it.
True. But the point is that, see, Reece James definitely made a mistake. He let his man run into the box, and then he was chasing after him. He was clumsy. So, but like it could have been a 50-50 decision.
No, I literally saw Hector Bellerin shades with Reece James, and that was more disappointing than the scoreline, because that curse I don't want. Hector Bellerin curse I don't want on any defender.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, see, that's the thing. Arsenal, I think Lampard said this before the match that Arsenal are a good team who are going through a bad time, and it's a derby. That's the worst time to play them, and that's what happened. See, 35 minutes, they were losing, like not losing in the sense they were losing in the game, but then they weren't like doing anything good enough that they can actually nick a goal. And suddenly you gift them a free kick, you gift them a penalty. They take both of those chances. I mean, I don't know what happened to like Xhaka. Just out of nowhere, he comes up with that incredible free kick. You get the Lacazette penalty, and then suddenly 45 minutes later, like at halftime, you're going in 2-0 down at Arsenal when you've already lost 2 previous away games. So it does something to you mentally, and that just added. Like if you look at the second half from just a second half perspective, Chelsea did a much better job. Like I still can't explain why Lampard brought in Jorginho in place of Kovacic, because Kovacic was actually probably the most active player in the first half. Yeah. But removing Timo Werner was probably a good decision. Bringing in someone who is fast, quick, and wants to prove himself was actually a good decision in that case. And that showed. But the problem is when you're down on your luck, when you're just not able to produce something on your own, even a cross can end up inside the penalty, inside the net, and you lose the game. But yeah, the point is that Chelsea, I think I wasn't disappointed that they lost. I was disappointed that they lost in the way that they did.
Yeah.
They literally had three bad moments where, again, the penalty didn't really need to happen. Reece James could have just tried to come around and tried to stop across, because there was no way he was going to shoot from that angle. He could have just gone around and tried to stop a cross. Or the foul that led to the free kick, again, unnecessary. Conte was surprisingly one of the worst midfielders that played last night, which is again very weird. Quite a lot of uncharacteristic performances led to all of that.
But
go
I
on.
just want to ask, why couldn't
I was just saying that
Chelsea deal with
this is a recent trend
Xhaka,
that
Laka, and
has
Saka?
started with. Yeah.
All three scored.
See, my point was I was talking about Kante when you mentioned him. I'm starting to find some recent trend that he's not playing up to the marks. Even against Wolves, he was not. He was one of the most mediocre defenders. And I understand that you cannot maintain a certain amount of form. That you cannot perform on a superior level every game, but then you have to balance it out somewhere. So that's where right now the most experience is Kante in the defense.
Correct.
Right now.
Yeah.
So when he falters and when he loses his position, then because of the recent run also, our defense is again back to that shaky, a demoralized defense who is not finding out what needs to be done. I thought it was improved, but then I realized that the defense was improved because.
If you look at the last three games that we lost, I don't think I can blame the defense for this Arsenal loss, because literally all three goals were weird goals. Except for the
for me also, I don't blame the defense. For me, because why we lost is I blame our attacking force.
I blame the attack, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same thing against Everton where we had 89 possession. And still, because we were lacking in the finishing and the third half of the plays, we are not able to score. And I will say it again, I've been saying it again since the last two videos. Stop playing Werner as a winger. Stop it. I'm losing my patience.
I think
no,
we need to tag
to that
Lampard
point,
we need to tag Lampard in this video, because
yes,
very unhappy Chelsea fans over here who are don't want Werner.
No, actually, I don't mind Werner playing on the left, because I was actually looking by I've spoken to Anshuman about this a couple of times before, and we always come to this point, why is Werner playing on the left and why is Tammy or Giroud playing up front? And then I just looked back. I was trying to figure out what was Werner's performances when he was playing on the left in Germany. It's surprising that Werner had a better goal per shot ratio when he was playing on the left. And if you look back at just the last 5 games, he has actually had enough number of chances to score. It's not that he's not getting the chance to score. He's getting there. He's in front of the goal. I remember, I don't remember which match that was. He was on the back post. All he had to do was bring his foot forward and that would have gone in. He somehow managed to hit the roof of the post.
That was against West Ham.
That was
Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves, right. So even Torres with an open goal miss would laugh at that, because how can you be at the back post and somehow manage to hit the top bar? I don't know how that even works. But he somehow managed to do that.
That is my only point. That is my point, because right now we have seen Werner. He takes the run.
Yeah.
He is spacey, right? I think I expected him to have a better first touch. So if that can be improved.
Correct.
But then everything what he is doing in the left hand side, he is doing it so as to get into the box. Right, and that is where he's faltering, because once he gets into the box, he's missing out on the chances.
Yeah.
He is like fluffing the finishes. So to get that, because Werner as a finisher was known in Germany.
Yeah.
So to get that finishing back, putting him in that position where all you have to do is to be on the right box. You don't have to you don't have to take the runs. You don't have to think about putting out the crosses.
Right.
All you have to do is to finish. And if you put him into that position, then probably he will get more chances to improve on that,
Yeah.
rather than playing on the left side wing and like having two minds about what to do: be the finisher or be someone who assists you.
Yeah.
Because that is nobody. He is not Salah right now or Mane, that they can play wingers as well as attackers.
Right.
So right now, because we are lacking on those creative players, it's pretty difficult for Werner to like have that pressure as well, and also have the pressure of scoring goals.
Yeah, I also think
because
that
I
there's
just
another
don't want
problem.
to have him in that dilemma.
Yeah, the other problem that I think why he has to play on the left at the moment, why I think Lampard is not wanting him to go up front, is because right now neither Pulisic nor Hudson-Odoi are able to like truly cement the position on the left. Like they're not
Right.
doing well enough that you can say that okay, you take up the left, let Werner play through the middle. And that also made me wonder, maybe we need to change the formation a little bit, maybe bring in 4-2-3-1. That way,
Or probably we can play more narrow.
yeah,
We can play more narrow,
something.
like negate the
Because
wingers
I feel like
and
Mason
bring
Mount is
everything
getting
towards the
lost.
center.
Mason Mount's
To do
efforts
that.
are getting lost when he's
Right.
playing deep. Like he's a great player to be in that position, but then I feel like what he has, the talent that he has going forward, that's getting lost. Like in yesterday's match, because Conte was not doing as well, he had to sit very deep, and that's why he was never able to like make those forward runs that he does so well. And again, I feel like the balance, it'll take a while. I'm not disappointed. I'm happy that our defense is still at least fixed. We know that these four players can do it. I just want to figure out that maybe once GH comes back, maybe someone else can move to the left and do a better job. But I think right now our problem is still the same that was 3 years ago. Hazard has left, and we still don't know who is going to play on the left hand side. That position is still like
I mean that
empty.
that is being more evident right now.
Yeah.
The position, the absence of Hazard, and it
I think Real
happens.
Madrid would be happy to sell you Hazard back if you ask for him.
Probably. I wouldn't be happy to take him right now.
Yeah, I'll be absolutely happy to get him back.
I would like to take this question to a non-Chelsea fan right now and see what Rishabh actually has been.
He has a lot of things to say.
No.
He's
I
waiting
got a
for
lot of things to say. I was very happy with your discussion. It made sense what you guys are saying. Like, totally agree with that. But it's just certain things came up from your discussion. Was like you said you were doing good in the third half. I don't think so. Since Ziyech has been injured, I don't think you've been doing well in the third half. Or like
We were doing well before that, but once he's gone, that balance has left.
The final third, yeah, that's what I meant. So like the final third, you've not been doing well. Like you have not been creating chances. I don't think like hitting a post one time in a match does not mean that you're creating chances. Yeah, that does not mean that. So I feel like you guys are still missing the playmaker. That is the reason that you guys have lost the last 3 games in the last 4 matches. And the way you've done it, right? Like you've not been able to create those clear-cut chances. That is why you've been losing. So, and I don't know, like why Pulisic has not been able to figure out his game. Like he's been in the game for about a season and a half now, so he should be able to now figure things out.
I think his injuries are holding him back a little bit. He's still not fully fit. I feel like he's not able to.
And also, he also does not understand. Like I think even Lampard and Pulisic are probably having the conversation every day in what is his fixed position. Is it right or is it left? Because when Ziyech was there, right? Now, if we talk about like the kind of player Ziyech is, he's not pacey, right? He's not pacey, but his left foot is a miracle. So even if he's playing in the right side, he doesn't have to like take those long runs for the assists. Like he can even stay in the middle and cut inside. Now the difference between Ziyech and Pulisic is the pace. Pulisic has enormous pace, and also Pulisic has one of the best first touches right now in our Chelsea first team. So for to incorporate all these things in a particular position, so that is where the big dilemma is there for Lampard as well as for Chelsea, is to how to fit Pulisic in the right position right now. I think that is also like holding him back in like fulfilling his full potential, because he's not getting the right position to play with. So I would say that is one major issue why Pulisic is not like, and also like for the injuries,
So,
like that is also holding him back.
the second point that came from your discussion was about Werner. You mentioned that he used to play on the wing in Leipzig, right? Like I did do some research about it. He used to, but only when Nagelsmann thought that he has to adjust over there for this particular game. He did not play a winger like for like a season and a half or like a half a season.
Right.
He's an out and out striker, but also there is this stat about him that he needs to have 3 clear-cut chances to score 1, and that is what his scenario in Chelsea is also. Like
Yeah.
if the rate that he's going, he'll finish the season with 20:1 ratio, like 20 chances created to one chance scored. The way he's going, like he's getting those chances, he's just not able to finish those. And I still feel, and the third point that came out of it was I think your Hazard dilemma. Like I think Lampard is still trying to figure out, okay, who replaces him, and like because he was such a big name player and he that came to Chelsea, he's just like, okay, now just fill in the boots of Hazard and try to provide some flair in the final third. But because he's not that kind of player, he's an out and out striker. He is not able to adjust, and of course, like he's coming from a league where the competition, I would say, is not that big of a deal. It's not very hard to play in that league, and that's why he was able to score those 28, 30 goals or whatever he scored in that league, right? So to come
It all depends with the physicality.
Yeah.
It's all about physicality in Premier League. Like the defenders, they are not afraid of like pushing in and stopping a striker at any cost.
Exactly.
So this is very rare in other leagues. You see, like in Italy, most of the times you see they have a very what we say it a push back defense. Like they get back, they hold their position,
Yeah.
and then they wait for the loose touches and all that to intercept. But in Premier League right now, probably I see every team playing that pressing game, that gegen press. So that is very difficult for a striker to like break that mold
And the same is with La Liga as well. Same thing happens in La Liga. Like,
yeah, same. Yeah,
that's why you
exactly.
see, and I'm not going to bring another topic here, but like you see, like how Ronaldo is actually, like how Ronaldo is able to score so many goals in so many games, but in Italy he's not able to do that because of the defensive game that league has, right? So that's what I was coming to, like. You need to give time for sure. You need to give him time for sure, but also Lampard should come to his senses and say that, okay, he's a striker, and let me play him with a striker. That's it.
So
I mean, he's anyways doing experiments.
So before we bring
But
this
Like a question to
just to add some point, just a little bit, I just wanted to say that I was extremely impressed by Arteta and Arsenal. I mean, I knew that somewhere down the line they will turn their season, or they will get their win, that significant win. I'm just sad that it is from our expense that they got that win. But to say it, I really loved what Arteta did with the team sheet. I saw so many youngsters like Martinelli, who fans have been begging Arteta to play. He started, then now we see like there are Saka, he's a brilliant player. He has some unbroken potential that I know. I have seen him I have seen him play. There are rare flashes of brilliance from Saka, and I believe that if this is the team that Arteta is supposed to put it again in next game, then I think this is the team that can like change the season. I'm not sure about Zaka. That was an anomaly that he did. I'm not sure that he still has the right place in the team because I see Ceballos, he's taking positions of Ceballos and Genduzi, who I believe are better players than him. But if he is doing the business for Arteta, then I think this front three of Saka and Gabriel Martini should stay in the team again, should stay in the team, should stay in the first team. And I believe that these two players can change the season
Agreed.
for Arteta. And I love that Arteta finally trusted those youngsters.
And how Chelsea can save their season is what just Anshuman said to Lampard. So Lampard, if you're listening, please make sure that you're selecting Timo Werner as an out and striker. And also Lampard is saying to Anshuman, please remove Mendy from your SPL.
If
Also, Chelsea fans, like, please text Anshuman to take Mendy out of his team. As soon as he does that, you might see some better results.
So I mean, it's a sad thing that we don't have Arsenal fan to get their perspective. But I would like to take this to Kshitij right now and see what do you think? Do you think Arteta can draw a lot of confidence from this victory and make this game go forward and go into the winning spree right now, or turn the season around at least?
Yeah, like the past couple of results for Arsenal have not been good. Like they have lost a lot of matches. They are in the second half of the table, but like we mentioned it last week as well, the Arsenal job for Mikel Arteta, even being a newcomer manager and taking charge of a big club, is absolutely safe, and that in itself gives a lot of lot of confidence to a manager. Coming to the Chelsea game, like Arsenal played them out of the park. Like there was I was watching the match and I was thinking to myself, like, this is what Arsenal is doing to Chelsea. Like Chelsea are not a bad team. Like Chelsea were title contenders just 2 weeks back, and they were like, Chelsea was nowhere near what Arsenal was doing in that day. Okay, I can understand the fact that Arsenal even played midweek. Like that also blew my mind. Like Arsenal played midweek and then they played on the weekend, and they also played Manchester City. So that was a tough fixture. So like kudos to Mikel Arteta. The team played brilliantly, and whenever like you try to like this season has proved in a lot of ways, whenever a manager has his back to the wall, the players come out and play for the team. Arsenal was another example, and Chelsea was the perfect like statement that Arsenal is not going out just yet. So like the combination of Xhaka, Saka, and Laka, like Chelsea could not handle that. Like Pulisic was a bright spark yesterday. Like Timo Werner did not play well, but top marks to like Arsenal and the players. And Arsenal, like Mikel Arteta is now starting to trust the youngsters in the team instead of the veterans that he has. And if he does that, like not only because those players are trying to prove themselves, those players are trying to establish themselves. And Saka is one of those players that I see that any like bigger club like Arsenal is a big club, but not at the moment. They're not the best club. So any bigger club, just because of the sheer determination and the sheer like drive that Saka provides to Arsenal, like Chelsea were nowhere good enough to play Arsenal. Yeah.
So I guess that wraps up our question for our very infamous derby match of the weekend. So and now that we've been discussing a lot about the Werner and Havertz issue, I would like to take this question to another topic where we're going to be discussing about the unpopular opinions right now, and we'll be talking about the hits and misses of the transfer window this year. Halfway mark, we're almost at the halfway mark right now. So, what do you guys think? Irrespective of your teams, I mean, what do you think of the hits and misses of this year transfers? Kshitij, would you like to take this question again?
Yeah. Researching for this question, I figured that Chelsea still have Marco Van Ginkel in their team for some reason. They have Bakayoko, Victor Moses, Batshuayi, and like they are looking for players. Why? I mean, they
There are lucky charms. They have to stay.
like you have so many players that you can actually bring back from your loan, and they could help. Like if you're not able to score goals, you can bring players like Victor Moses that can deputize for Ben Chilwell or stuff like that. And Lampard has been putting out the same team again and again. And I'm getting sidetracked here. So for the hits, I would first of all give an honorable mention to Martinez, who joined Aston Villa from Arsenal. What the hell were Arsenal thinking? He's better than, for me, he's better than Leno. Like, he's so calm on the ball. Like, sometimes the kind of passes he makes, that makes me anxious watching Aston Villa. But the kind of coolness and composure and his shot stopping is so much better. So Martinez to Aston Villa has to be one of the hits of the season. The other one would be Ollie Watkins, because he's a kind of player who has come from Championship, but still he gives his 100% every match he plays. And I love that kind of, enthusiasm, that kind of drive from a player. The other hit I would give to Edouard Mendy before he went to Chelsea, Anshuman's team, because I think Chelsea.
I think it's definitely time for you
to get Kepa back into there, because he cannot keep a clean sheet for the love of, I don't know how. Like, Chelsea's defense had gotten so much better since Mendy has come in. He has been responsible for keeping a large majority of clean sheets for Chelsea. But okay, that is a different topic.
Our season could have been a lot worse with Kepa. So in that sense, he's a big hit.
No, not lot worse. We would have been below Arsenal.
We would have been below Arsenal. Absolutely. Right.
That's not too bad. Like 15 points from 16, 17 games. Not too bad.
Sure. So,
yeah. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. The other hits for me would be Fofana for Leicester City. Like I said, the scouting for Leicester is amazing. Jota for Liverpool, another great, amazing signing. Then I would like to add Callum Wilson for Newcastle and Højbjerg for Tottenham. Like, Højbjerg for Tottenham is the pick for me for the transfer of the season, because the kind of energy and drive he had brought to Tottenham, he was one of the instrumental players for them to be in the top half of the top two teams a couple of weeks back, and they have slipped off a little. For misses, I would first of all, Willian has to be one of the misses of the season. Just because you're getting a player for free doesn't mean he's going to perform well, and he has performed in just one game, that was against Fulham, to give a false sense of security to Arsenal fans for some reason. And not to forget Timo Werner and Kai Havertz. I still feel they need some time, and that is why I love the fact that we are not playing Donny van de Beek every week, because we can gradually bed him into the team instead of the media just butchering him for playing bad every week. But yeah, those would be my hits and miss for the season.
Yeah, so I guess you've almost mentioned every signing of the season. So I would like to take this to Rishabh. What do you think about Ruben Dias? Do you think it was a good signing for City?
I think so. Just wanted to say thank you, Kshitij, for stealing basically all the transfer hits and misses that I had on my list.
Stealing everyone's list.
I came prepared.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I think, but I'll be very short and sweet with the answer, because I think he already covered almost everything. But yeah, Jota for me too is the best signing for the transfer for the summer transfers. He's definitely transformed Liverpool into something else. I feel like even if Jota hadn't signed, I feel like Liverpool would have been not where they are right now. The goals that he scored for them.
I think he has scored more goals than he has scored last season for Wolves. Yeah. He scored more goals now for Liverpool than he has scored for Wolves where he played in their entire season.
Yeah.
So that is a big
Yeah, I think, and then Ruben Diaz, yes, for sure. The partnership that he's having with, and he's the interesting part for Ruben Diaz is like Pep trusts him so much. He's playing him in every competition that City are playing in. So he's partnering with Lampard in the League Cups or the any of the cup competitions that they're playing. The Premier League's been partnered with John Stones, who's also transformed into something else this season for some reason. He's playing so well. But like, yeah, he's played every minute of City's games, and he's definitely he's the one that's leading that defense currently. So you can already see like the kind of goals that City were conceding last season. They have literally stopped that. Yes, they have, that's the other things not happening on the final third, which is scoring goals, which City do. But at least that definitely the goals conceding has definitely stopped in the last since he's came. I think they've kept 6 clean sheets in the last 7, so which says a lot about Ruben Diaz because he's the one who's been leading the line, right? And Ollie Watkins for me, same. I definitely forgot Martinez from that team, but yeah, those are the 2 signings that definitely changed Aston Villa season. Grealish was already there, but I think we spoke about this, like that they were not getting the balls to score, to score the goals. So he's the one who's making the stops, and Ollie Watkins is the one that's making the goals. And I think misses for me is definitely the worst signing of the season is going to be Kai Havertz. Like I still don't think they needed him, and I still don't think that they need him. So yeah, I for sure know like they're not going to sell him, but yeah, like senseless signing for me. And Timo Werner is a failure for now, but I guess like I seen him. He's not that good that I can say that he's a very, very, very good striker. But yeah, let's give him time in the Premier League. Let him play at his main position that he's supposed to play in. He's still not playing at his position, so I wouldn't want to make a comment that he's a miss. But for now, yes, I would consider him into that missing list of the season.
I just want to say how good you have to be that Pep Guardiola starts putting John Stones back into the Premier League team. Like Ruben Diaz is so good. Like John Stones, that was not even in the plans for Pep Guardiola last season. Is now coming back and
I think
starting games in the Premier League.
It's more concerning with Laporte's injury because he's not playing a lot of games. He keeps getting injured every 2-3 games, so that's why I think John Stones is the one that playing in the Premier League because Premier League games will happen every week, right? So he wants to make a partnership with on the defensive end. That these are my main 2 mans on my central defense, so that's why he's playing. I think that's his reason.
Yeah, but he was preferring Fernandinho last season to John Stones, so a major improvement for John Stones as well.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like maybe that's the reason. Like since Ruben Diaz came in, he's the one who's leading line. So maybe he's gotten some sense into John Stones. Like, okay, this is how you defend.
Yeah. And for Kai Havertz, would he be another loanee for Chelsea? Like, would he be another player that would be loaned on?
I mean, £72 million striker midfielder does not go for a loan. Like he will be sold. Like yes. So.
No, he won't be sold. That is your opinion. That is your opinion of Havertz and your opinion alone. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that. But to see that the impact, if I talk about the impact, if I judge the player's performance by the performances that they have given, no matter how many performances they have given, then yes, I would also consider Havertz and Werner in the misses right now, because you cannot like shy away from the fact that they have not performed, no matter what kind of defend you do to them. It's in the end, it all matters that you are a striker and you are a cam. What matters is the kind of goals and the kind of assist you provide to the team, and how much of your impact is helping the team win. So that, because most of the times we are seeing Giroud giving that impact rather than Timo Werner and Havertz. So yes, of course. So the hits and the misses, Werner and Ziyech are of course there in the miss. I would also like to talk about Nabil Bentaleb, who came to Newcastle from Schalke, and he has a big reputation with his name, right? And but the fact is, when he has returned to Premier League, with every game that he has played, he has performed below of the average of 5, and Newcastle have lost that game. So with that sense, that is the signing that they did, which absolutely backfired. So I would consider him as a big miss for the season. And now, if like, of course, you both and talked about the hits. Ollie Watkins, he was in my list as well. And of course, like anybody would be impressed with the way he's playing. So like some of the names that you guys did not point it out, and which I believe are the hits of the season, is one is of course Callum Wilson, where like he has changed the strike what Newcastle are known for. Like they say that they still believe in Golington. That is his name. It's a banter or not, that I don't know. So Golington. So see, they trusted him, but he did not perform. Now the reason they got a striker who has the experience of Premier League, and we have never seen Wilson not perform. Like he has of course not like scored 20 or 25 goals, but he has always been there. He has always been present in that strike force. And Newcastle getting those two players of Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson, and probably the two best players of Bournemouth in a nutshell, to grab them and get to Newcastle. I think because Wilson is there, their season would be better than last season. That I'm absolutely sure. So I would consider Wilson as a big hit of the season. Then, if I talk about, we have already talked about Jota, and we have talked about Watkins. Another name that I'm surprised that you guys did not say was James Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I believe that he is like the biggest hit of this transfer window. And I was absolutely surprised that you guys like did not mention him.
James and I think Alan.
But barring that fact,
I want to mention Alan.
Alan as well.
Maybe.
Yeah. I already mentioned Alan as a workhorse before, so that also like puts my point intact. But so these were some of the names that I found that you guys were missing, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but I would consider Chilwell as a hit for Chelsea, no matter like what kind of performances that they have been giving right now. Just because when you said Mendy changed that defense line, I would say we were also lacking in that left back role for a long time. I would go as far as to say we have not yet replaced Ashley Cole in our team, and now I see that yes, we haven't. Who was our like left back who was performing the way Ashley Cole was? Like Alonso, I won't consider him as a left back anymore because he was playing as a left winger under Conte, and due to that he forgot how to defend. And then Emerson, of course, he is not dependable as a left back who can like understand his role and say that yes, I am here and I will win the key battles, and you don't have to worry about the left hand side. Okay, so ignoring the fact that the last 3 or 4 games we have been fumbling in the defense, but I would consider Chilwell as a big hit because that actually stabilizes our entire defense line right now. And I would consider that we have our positions fixed for our left back and right back, and having a England international play for a big team and for Chelsea, it's a big thing for us. And I hope that Chilwell continues his performance, like ignoring the fact that somewhere down the line he falters. But I would expect him to be as in a Chelsea team of the season by the season's end. So that is my personal opinion, is that Chilwell is a hit for me. So these were my names.
Already in a big team.
Sorry?
Wasn't Chilwell playing already in a big team? Like he was in Leicester, right? And they are above you.
right now.
I don't know what you say.
In that sense, like Aston Villa, West Ham, they have been above you as well,
Certain.
right? For 2-3 seasons. So I don't think that reason would. So
Literally,
yeah,
I think
my names were
current
these.
table and say, okay, you're just below us.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're
and he will judge the entire season. Yeah, yeah.
Just Shreyas, what were your thoughts on hits and misses of this season for now, till now?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that people talked about free transfers and they talked about Willian being a miss and somehow missed Thiago Silva. I mean, who would have thought that a 36-year-old defender who's been playing in France at PSG for what, 5 years?
yeah.
To come to
More than
Chelsea.
5 years. More than 5 years.
Yeah, I think 7 or something
Yeah.
like that. To come to Chelsea and become the person who literally solves every defensive problem that we have had. I mean, he made Zuma into a defender. I don't know how he did that, but
Yeah, for that reason, for that single reason, that I saw Zuma defending, my eyes went to Thiago Silva.
yeah.
So Thiago Silva
So-
was at PSG for 8 years. I just double checked.
8 years.
Yeah, I
8 years.
So it was a pretty
Like,
big.
I mean, he came from France. I mean, I don't know how he still remembers how to defend, but he somehow came to the Premier League as a free transfer at 36 years of age. And look at him. Like, I genuinely believe, like, yes, Reece James has had an impact on our defense. Yes, Chilwell has had an impact on the defense, and Mendy, of course, has had an impact on the defense. I mean, there was no goalkeeper. Like, we had a 6-foot stick standing behind us, and now we have an actual goalkeeper. But the way Thiago Silva, and he doesn't even speak the language. I don't know how he communicates. He somehow does this, and he's been doing this week in, week out. And he was a free transfer. Like, I don't think there's a better transfer story that you can tell at the end of the season. No matter where Chelsea end up, you have to give credit to Thiago Silva for the way he has like handled the situation, moving to a league like this at this age and doing all of that. Also, I think no one mentioned Ziyech because A, he was injured in the beginning, B, he's injured now. So he has basically played like 5 games. I feel like Chelsea made a mistake, and I think Rishabh, I don't know who said this, I think Rishabh said it, that I don't know why Kai Havertz was brought in, because we already had way too many people in that place. Like, we already did not have enough space to put in the players we already had. I don't know why he was brought in. Why wouldn't Chalk like write him off as a poor player? He's still 21. Like, he's still as young as all the youngsters who are playing at Chelsea. So he might get better. He might genuinely become a great player, because if you talk about the first, I think, 2 months, both Timo Werner and Kai Havertz were doing incredibly well, and then suddenly they both dropped off. So Kai Havertz was a weird purchase for me, because we wanted defenders and they somehow bought a cam. I don't know why, but yeah, for all the bad transfers that Chelsea have done, they have also somehow managed to bring in the perfect people. Like, Chilwell was important. We needed a left back. We have always played with a wing back. We have never, like, Moses was playing as a defender for us. I mean, come on, we needed a defender. So the fact that we have a proper left back now, we have a proper right back now, and then Ziyech was, again, still coming into a very packed attacking midfield of Chelsea. He still has something to offer that no other Chelsea player can. Like, he's the Chelsea player that we probably needed since Fabregas left. You know, the guy who can actually spot a pass and actually make it. So I think there are
Be selfless.
correct. Like, he can spot. Like, see, Jorginho showed that he can do those things, but just couldn't keep it going every game. Kovacic sometimes does that. He sometimes finds the perfect pass out of nowhere, but then we need someone to do it in day in, day out, and I feel like Ziyech would be that person. But again, it feels like Chelsea only want to buy players who are injured, because that's how Chilwell came in, that's how Thiago Silva came in, that's how Ziyech also came in. So I feel like Chelsea somehow managed to balance their sheet out by bringing in three great defenders and somehow missing out on the attackers. But all in all, I have to say that if we can keep loaning out and selling out our worst players to Arsenal, I'll be happy. So Willian, I don't know why Arsenal took him, but it's funny that he failed because I felt like Arsenal would be the perfect team for him. Arsenal and Tottenham were the two teams where he could have genuinely.
I felt too. I felt that too.
So I guess
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of role that he was playing for Chelsea, I thought that would be because the kind of role he was playing for Chelsea, he was not matching the kind of mentality that Chelsea team was. But seeing the way he plays, I also thought that Arsenal would be the perfect time for his age right now
Yeah.
to go and excel. I did not expect him to score like 15 goals and assist like 12 assists, but I expected like to go there and put some impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to come to the Thiago Silva communication
Just one more name that I like put it down my list of hit. I don't know if you guys agree. Is that Sergio Reguilon, which I consider because they were lacking in that because Ben Davies was not doing the job for them. And Tottenham always, even at the time of Pochettino, they always had that left back issue with them. Like Danny Rose, he performs like he's the best left back there is, and sometimes he performs like Sergio Aurier. So because of that factor, I see that for the left back role, Reguilon is doing basically exactly that what probably Andrew Robertson is doing for Liverpool. He's getting out, he's defending, and then he's giving those long balls to Son and Kane. And those perfect long balls. Not even just like for the sake of putting the crosses, he is doing it when he understands there is an opportunity. So to get a defender with that attacking mentality that like we know in like the great players like Marcelo has as a left back. So I see that also like is a very defining moment for Tottenham Hotspur's signing that might define the season going ahead. Just like Højbjerg and I believe that Reguilon is also another brilliant signing that are actually turning the team around.
But
So, yeah,
Reguilon
now
has a
you can go.
buyback clause at Real Madrid. That is one of the reasons United did not sign him because Real Madrid have a buyback clause for Reguilon. And to come to the Thiago Silva communication point, like the centre back to the next right of him, Zuma is French player. Kante, the defensive midfielder he has is a French player. The goalkeeper he has is a French player. So that somehow helps his communication problem.
Yeah.
Probably.
That I think this brings the close to our transfer market big discussion of the transfer market signings and hits and misses. Please do let us know in the comment section what do you think. Do you guys agree with our discussions? And if we missed out any of the names, please do let us know in the comment section. And as we wrap up as we bring 2020 to a close, which has been a very hard year for everyone. So we would like to bring this year to a close by reviewing the performances of the season and bringing to you the FPPs team of 2020. So I would like to take this to Kshitij, who would like to kick us off with this.
Yeah. So for my pick, I would be taking the goalkeeper of the season, which has to be Alisson.
Our pick.
It's our pick.
Our pick. Sorry. We live in a democracy. It's our pick. I forgot.
After much deliberation and discussion on behind the scenes, we have come to a conclusion to pick Alisson. So, yeah.
We personally might not agree with the choices, but as an overall, we agree that these are the players that need to be in the team of the year.
Yeah.
But here's one thing. I think everybody has Alisson in their team of the sheet.
Yeah.
Alisson is one player that is.
What do you mean? I had
There are a lot of players that everybody have in their team, but Alisson is one player that almost Like if I ask anybody who follows football at this moment to put a Premier League team of the year for them, they would keep Alisson in their goal. Like Liverpool were a good team before Alisson came, but they became title contenders after Alisson arrived.
They would never have won a title without with the goalkeepers they had.
Yes,
They never would
exactly.
have won the title.
Yeah, they could have brought in a better goalkeeper than they had, like than Karius and all, but they would have never won a Premier League title without
Right.
the likes of Alisson. Like he kept 13 clean sheets last season. He
The
is
thing that impressed me the most is his decision making. Like
yes,
he is so brilliant in making decisions. Like I see a shades of Neuer in him. Literally, I see the way Neuer understands when to push ahead and when to fall back, when to hold his position and know when to jump, when to have those perfect reflexes. So in every basically, Alisson is an overall best defender I would consider of 2020. The way he has performed.
okay. So
Okay, so now let's take
I
this
just
to.
sorry, I just want to give a shout out to Darlow as well because the kind of saves that he makes are amazing. So a shout out to him as well.
So now we take this to Anshuman, and, who would be talking about the defenders of our team. So yeah.
Yeah. So the four names, everybody knows those four names, and of course, there was nobody else who could have taken the right back role other than Trent Alexander-Arnold. If I just talk about his accomplishments this year, the personal accolades that he got. He was in the ESM team of the season, PFA team of the year. He was FIFA Pro World 11. He became the Premier League Young Player of the season. He became PFA Young Player of the year. So just if I just throw the stats out of the window and just talk about the personal accolades that he has achieved, we can say that there is nobody else, nobody above him right now in Premier League in that left right back role. So I would say that yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold was our unanimous decision to put him in that right back role. Then of course, then we have two more Liverpool players, and if people might think it is like being more biased towards the team, but we understand, and people, I think they realize that they are still in the team because of their merit and the performance that they gave from January to this time. And then, so talking about that, the second center back that we have chosen was, of course, Virgil van Dijk. Like, I don't like, he is probably the best defender in right now in football. And considering he's injured right now, the even in the first five performances, he had 81% pass completion from a defender, because they play a high line. To see an 81% pass ratio completed is a big thing from a center back. And then, of course, he had from January, if we talk about from January, he had 15 tackles attempted, and out of which he successful attempts were 13. And another brilliant trivia fact is that since his signing in 2017 and 18 season, only 8 players in Premier League have dribbled past Virgin van Dijk. So he's that kind of a wall in that defense. So that is an astounding accomplishment. So of course his name is there because of the merit. And then there was some people might not agree, some people might agree, but the third player as a center back that we chose was Connor Cody. And if we compare Virgil van Dijk and Connor Cody, then we don't see the same attribute and the same stats that might put Connor Cody there. But if we talk about the impact that he has put as a captain and as a defender for Wolves, and the way the Wolves defense line has been shaping with him in the center line, I believe that itself gives a huge boost to his position as a defender. for this Premier League season. And then, of course, like because of his performances, he got that breakthrough role as a England defender as well. So that also pushed our opinions of him to put him in the player of the season. And then if we talk about left back, I think I have already mentioned it before. Andrew Robertson, like the things that he does as a left back, the things that he has, I have never seen a left back do those kind of things. The long balls, the crosses, the winning those key battles, the battles where you know that if you miss it out, then that winger will, there is nobody else between him and Allison. So keeping that mentality with him at 28 years old, understanding the role, what he has to do, and with the huge amount of attacking prowess that Liverpool has, him including in that goals and assist statures. So if I consider that, then I would say that there is nobody else that I could have put in, like we could have put as Robertson.
So now quickly moving to the midfield of the section, Rishabh, who do you think were our picks?
I think it was a no-brainer. I think it is a no-brainer for everyone. It's just Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, and Jordan Henderson. De Bruyne and Fernandes. If I am looking at the stats, De Bruyne, Kevin, what I'm saying, Bruno Fernandes has scored more goals in the calendar year than Messi. So that just gives him the the accolade that we are putting him in the Premier League team of the year if he scored more goals than Messi. He's been involved in I think 43 goals. No, not for 35 goals. It's been within the calendar year for United. That just shows how much how influential he's been for United. And I think the only team that's taken more points in the calendar year is Liverpool. So United is second on that. Jordan Henderson, our pick, was easily the pick of the defensive player of the year. He's definitely kept the with the defense that Liverpool already has. He's definitely kept Liverpool in that attacking mindset, and also holding the players, holding as a holding midfielder. He's been there for his defense, and also collaborating within the in the attacking mindset. For Kevin De Bruyne, we don't need to say anything about him. He's been struggling this season, yes, but I think he's been class apart for a better part of 2 seasons that City's been winning the titles. So I think he's also been involved in about 30 goals and in for the year, which is just awesome, right? So Rohil, you just want to finish off the striker positions?
So I mean, the front three was obviously the toughest to pick, I guess, but we still landed on the 3 names, which were Salah, Kane, and Son. I mean, for the striker position, obviously it was a little bit difficult to pick between Vardy and Kane, but at the end of the season or the end of the year, Kane has actually pushed himself to be our, I think, number 1 choice because of the number of assists, and his partnership with Son has actually accelerated a lot. Same goes for Son. I mean, picking Mane and Son was obviously a little bit dicey, and it could have been a little bit difficult at that aspect. But it's not that we have anything against Mane or we don't like him as a player. He is an excellent team player, but the impact which Son has been having in the recent time and the goalless spree which Mane has gone, barring the last 2 matches, which is again I think finally found his form again. So it has been a little bit dicey at that point. And obviously, I mean, Salah cannot be, is obviously another no-brainer for us. So we picked that. So that wraps up for us. And that is the team of the year 2020 for us. Do let us know in the comment section what you thought of it. And I would like to, as we close this discussion, I would like to thank our guest speaker, Shreyas, for joining us. And it was a real pleasure having you and seeing you bleed blue. So it was really fun. And as we close it, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe, and do not forget to click on the bell icon for us and follow us on the social media handles.